Okay, we have the Circuit Court Clerk. I'm sure you've heard the question that was relayed to the other departments. So we'll just jump right in with the understanding of the status quo recommended budget. If you can provide to us what that entails as it relates to the operations for your respective area. And just for the viewing audience, if you can provide a brief synopsis of the services that you provide for the city. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, council members, for being here today and allowing us to be here today. I am Richard Rooker. I'm the Circuit Court Clerk in Davidson County. To my left is Randy Semrick, who is our Administrative Services Manager and makes my life very much better on a daily basis. So could not work without Randy. She does a great job for us. The Circuit Court Clerk's office keeps all the records for all of the civil courts in Davidson County. We have 4 departments. We have the Circuit Court Clerk's office, the Probate Court Clerk's office, Traffic Violations Bureau, and the a General Sessions Civil Court, which handles all small claims and lawsuits that are under $10,000. We handle everything from traffic tickets being written to condemnations, order of protections, divorces, medical malpractice lawsuits, guardianships, wills, conservatorships, judicial committals, orders of protection. Anything that's civil comes through our court, and we have I actually have 5 departments. When we have all those records, we have to have a records department that takes care of them. So we're a busy place. We keep a lot of lawsuits filed, a lot of paperwork moving, and we keep all the courts hopefully staffed with the information that they need to make their decisions on a daily basis. As far as the status quo budget, we're good with the status quo budget. We're not asking for any increases or any monies to continue to perform these services at the level that we're performing them now. Last year we did say we would generate $3 million in excess fees to the general fund. By July 1st, we will have reached that goal. So we will turn over $3 million in excess fees. And just one other thing that we're working on this year, hopefully by Thanksgiving of this year, we will be e-filing in all 3 of our offices. That includes Circuit, Probate, and General Sessions Courts. That is going to make a tremendous impact on how we do business. Hopefully that will, we're on track right now to start the week after Thanksgiving, so we'll be around the 1st of December when we start that. We're going to see great increases in savings, and not having to move paper is our main problem, and getting files and getting things where they need to be. When that's electronically done, it's going to save us a lot of time and hopefully a lot of money. So we hope to have that up and running by December 1st. With that, Madam Chair, I'll answer any questions that I can.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rooker. Vice Chair Schulman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Rooker, just a quick question. You last year generated $3 million in fees?
Yes, sir.
And according to the budget, proposed budget this year, $2 million in fees? What's just the difference?
I believe we were a little aggressive last year in our prediction. If you'll look over the last 3 years, if you'll take that $3 million, it probably should have been $2.5 million. We were a little aggressive in what we thought we could turn in. I think personally, we will be able to hit $2.5 million this year. I just didn't want to estimate it and then it not be there. So if you look at the trend, it's usually running about $2.5 million every year. So we're going to give you 3 this year, give you 2 next year, hopefully 2.5 next year. Then it's going to work out to be about 2.5 every year that we turn over.
Okay, and one other question, and I'm not sure exactly how to ask this. 44 employees, and I know that there's different other types of clerks, juvenile court clerk, criminal court clerk, whatever. So how many things get filed? So I mean, how do you know that 44 is the right number?
Well, the 44 budgeted employees are for the Traffic Violations Bureau only. The rest of our offices are on fee, we're a fee office.
Okay.
So those employees aren't included in that number. So those are just Traffic Violation Bureau employees. The rest of our employees, we're a fee office, so we pay all those employees out of our fee account. We have our own payroll, and we have all of those things that are done by state statute.
Okay, so how many? So 44 would be just the traffic folks?
Yes, sir.
So how many folks actually are in the, besides those, how many other people would be in the circuit court?
Roughly 140 employees.
140, okay.
sir.
So altogether it's 184?
No, total.
Oh, total?
Total.
140.
140,
So
yes, sir.
of that, 44 are the traffic
44
violations?
Traffic violations,
So,
which fall under the budget.
Okay.
And they fall under they're considered to be Metro employees under the pay plan.
okay, got it. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great question, Vice Chair.
Thank you.
Councilman Pulley.
Well, being as Councilman Schulman takes most of my questions, he only left me with one little bitty one, so.
I was worrying doing that because I know how you are, Russ, but go ahead.
Yeah, we are. We're real competitive about all those appreciation marks from the chair. Anyway, I just have one other question for you, and I noticed that with the trend in General Sessions Court being the fines, the forfeits, and the penalties going down, you had an 11% increase, so can you just comment on that and why that's the case, which does offset the 33% decrease in your charges, commissions, and fees somewhat?
If Councilman, we look at the life of a traffic ticket to be over, or a parking ticket to be 10 years. So we have 10 years to collect that. What we see trends happening in the last 10 years, our trends of our traffic tickets and parking tickets have steadily been going down. The amount of tickets being written, but we still have the life of that ticket that we're trying to collect on. So if someone got a ticket 8 years ago and we take a judgment on that, that judgment's good for 10 years and we collect for a 10-year period until we can get the full fine. A lot of people file slow pay motions. A lot of people pay them over time. So to explain an 11% increase is really kind of hard to do, but we're just tracking it for, you have to understand that lasts for 10 years. So collection efforts on that ticket are there until it's paid in full. After 10 years, the judgment goes away. We can no longer go after that fine unless we renew it and renew the judgment. And that process is kind of, something we normally don't have to do, but we can. But it's just people, sometimes we get a good year, and sometimes we collect a little bit more money on past due tickets than we do the previous year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Roden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Rooker, for being here today.
Thank you, sir.
The e-filing system that you're about to implement, several questions, and I'll try to ask a couple and see if you can answer them. One, when is it going to be implemented? Two, the state just implemented a whole new system for attorneys, and we've had some glitches with that. I've heard a lot of complaints, people having to spend several hours going back and doing work that they've already done. So tell us kind of how you've tested that out. And then once it's implemented, will attorneys like Larry Hager be able to use this system, or is it going to be, or just kind of what's going on with that? So thank you.
Thank you, sir. I won't comment on the ability of Mr. Hager to use the e-filing system, but what we hopefully will have, we're in the process of building this system, and hopefully by the time we roll it out, implement it, it'll be fully tested. Like I say, we're going to try to do it the Monday after Thanksgiving is our set date right now. We will always have to be able to accommodate pro se litigants, people who come to our counter to file things. So it won't be a mandatory system, so to speak, where you're sitting in your office and you have to e-file. If you decide to come to our office and file the paper with us, we'll e-file it for you at the counter, give you your paperwork back. We just have too many pro se individuals and people who deal with our office on a daily basis. So hopefully it'll be, naturally we're starting a new system. We're going to have some things happen that we're going to have to jump in and correct, but hopefully we'll have it all done by then. But it'll be a system where you can sit in your office and e-file. You have your staff do it, or you can individuals can still come to our counter daily and be able to file their pleadings with our office.
And is this a system that's been used in other cities, or are we guinea pigs for a new system?
It's been used all over the country. It's Tibere, Xerox, and their system has. We've seen it working excellent in other areas. So if it works that well for us, it's going to be great.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Rooker, for being here. Anticipating a little bit another conversation we'll be having. Help me out here. I park at a meter. I don't pay the meter. I get a ticket. The fine is paid to your office.
Yes, sir.
And you collect it. Those 44 fine people are collecting that and counting that up. If the city were to sell the parking meter revenue, some of that would be fines, which would be collected by your office.
That is correct.
How would a privatization of the parking meter revenue and fines affect your office?
It would affect us in several ways. First of all, I'm not exactly sure how all that's going to work. We're just still in the process of learning more about it. Ultimately, we would look, this year alone, we collected $769,000 in parking fines. Now, that's just people, that's not what they're putting in the meter. We don't collect that part. That's just if you received a ticket.
That's the fines.
That is the fines,
Okay.
yes, sir. So fines for meter, tow-away zones, handicap parking, all of those things that are either penalties by metro ordinance or by state law. So those are the things that we collect on. But before any of that could be, I think, privatized, there's going to have to be laws changed to allow for that, not only at the local level but at the state level, because there's now there's laws that say what you can, what you can't do. And I'm sure this has been done in other states, and like I say, I'm been involved in some meetings where we're taking a look at this, but the statute tells you how you can enforce parking tickets and traffic tickets and codes violations and all those things, or the Metro ordinance tells us how to do it. So as far as how it would really affect us, we don't know at this point. All I can really tell you is the amount of fines that we collect and the enforcement of them. I'm not sure how all that would work too. I think that's all still in a planning stage right now.
Appreciate your insight. The $769,000 of fines, just fines alone, though, goes towards the funding of your office and those 44 people?
Yes, sir.
So there would have to be some change just on the economic reality of that.
Yes, sir. I mean, we would, as far as the data entry and the data processing, into Traffic Bureau too, we're hoping to within the next year or so, working with the police department, get into the same electronic ticket writing, all of these things are headed in that direction. So we're not there yet, but we're heading in that direction. So we would definitely lose employees, lose staff if this were to go through.
So that 769 is part of the $2 million worth of estimated fees and fines. So that would.
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
The excess fees and fines come from our other three offices, the probate court clerk's office. Circuit
okay.
Court. These are Metro fines that come straight to Metro. Yes, sir. They're not coming from the clerk's office.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Cooper. Council Lady Henderson.
Thank you, Chair Vercher. Thank you, Clerk Rooker. Can you, just from an operational perspective, expand upon, I heard you saying that you were working with MNPD. So Circuit Court, General Sessions, Probate, move into the e-file system. Traffic Violations Bureau not ready to do that because MNPD still does all that on paper. Is that correct?
The Traffic Violations Bureau is going to go on a system called TVIS, which is a Traffic Violations Information System. That has to get going first before we can actually start the electronic process. JIS is doing that program for us in the Traffic Bureau. So JIS is building that. You heard Natalie talk about custom building. They're basically custom building us a system, and we're down to the final stretch of that and getting into the financial part of the bookkeeping systems and how all that's going to work in that department. The Traffic Violations Bureau, we have to disperse money to so many different agencies out of there, not only to Metro, but to the state, just all kind of different agencies that we disperse money to. So that part of it's going to be a little tedious. But hopefully, once we get this system set up, we'll have the ability to work with other agencies where, yeah, we will definitely enter into an electronic era of if you get pulled over for a ticket, they'll electronically write that ticket, they'll hand you a little printed out receipt, and that will all be downloaded into our computer system from the field. So that day's not here, but we're hopefully we'll have that done within the next two or 3 years.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Hager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Rooker, for being here.
Yes, sir.
Since a lot of people in this council do not deal with e-filing, they don't run with the big boys, is this going to be similar to the ones we use in federal court?
It will be similar, other than it will not be mandatory. So the federal court system is a mandatory system. You have
Right.
to e-file. It will be similar in the way that you process what you send us from your office if you decide to e-file, and the rules will basically, there's been a standard set by the Supreme Court, so there are rules set for the standards of how we can't just go in here and set it up ourselves and say, hey, this is the way we want to do it. So
Right.
you have to be able to have, the documents, the appeals have to be able to go up in a certain way, and we have to go to the Court of Appeals in a certain way, and to the Supreme Court in a certain way. It will be similar. It won't be exactly. Hopefully it won't be as cumbersome. It'll be easy to use as some other systems that you may have used. So we're excited about it. It's really going to change the way we do business in circuit court.
Yeah, we use the federal system some when we file up there, so irregardless of what somebody else said in here.
Yes, sir.
I do know how to use it.
I know. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hager. Thank you so much, Mr. Rooker, and the service that you provide to the city. And I don't see any other council members seeking recognition. The next area that we will have come up is the criminal court clerk. You can go ahead and begin making your way up, and we will continue to proceed.